Hello everyone and welcome back to round 2 of the AOR F1 2016 Season 12 Championship. It's the Bahrain Grand Prix, one of my favourite tracks on the calendar. I'm xMattyG, Matthew Gallagher, and joining me in the commentary box once again is the beautiful voice of Justin.
Thanks for having me, Matt. Really looking forward to this one. It was a fantastic race last time, so I'm sure this one will be great as well, with fantastic overtaking opportunities, technical track, high-speed corners. Should be a lot of fun.
It should indeed. The Season 11 winner was Dizzy Cupid. He also took pole position with a 130.4 on F1 2015. Looking back at Season 10 as well, which was a little bit more coverage, was TR Martin who won that race. So he won the first 4 of that particular season, which actually helped him to win the title in the end. 15 turns, 5.41 kilometres and 29 laps await the drivers. And until then, we just have the qualifying comparison to go through. So let's head to that now.
So here we are for the second qualifying comparison of the season, this time featuring the battle for pole position between the Flying Finn in the Williams on the left and TR Martin in the Mercedes on the right. A slight top-end speed advantage for Martin on the way into turn 1, but both drivers stamping on the brakes and grabbing first gear to help rotate the car before trying to keep the throttle pinned open as best they can for turns 2 and 3, which are still part of the traction zone out of the initial turn 1. Keeping to the left now and looking for the 100-metre braking board on the left before hitting the brakes for turn 4, and it's the Flying Finn using slightly more curve and also being slightly ahead at this early part of the lap. Similar oversteer moments for both drivers on the exit as they pop over the brow and now come into the fast right and then left at the start of sector 2. Important to compromise the entry to the right to open up the left, which allows the drivers to carry as much speed into this hard braking zone for the hairpin. No issues for either driver with the traction as they now rise over the crest once more before trying to nail one of the most difficult braking zones on any F1 circuit on the calendar currently. The Williams suffering from a front left lock-up whilst the Mercedes having to juggle the rear end with a bit of rear locking there. Both drivers now with the DRS open and shifting through the gears on this back straight, and from the pause here you can see the Flying Finn ahead by about a car length now. Easing the car through the left-hander of turn 11, making sure not to drop the rear end as you apply the throttle whilst bringing the car over to the left to open up this long right-hander, which should be absolutely flat for both drivers. Again, both drivers nailing the right-hander of turn 13 this time. Amazing precision on display as they gather their thoughts now for the final corner ahead. The Flying Finn at this point can see the time he now needs to beat pop up on screen, which is the lap we are actually watching from Martin's perspective, who himself has a car in front which you'll hope doesn't distract him and can actually benefit with some slipstream for the run to the line, which he does get, but it's not going to be enough, and it'll be the Williams and race winner of round 1, the Flying Finn, taking pole position by just 0.02 of a second over TR Martin, and they'll line up on the front row for the race. Back to your main commentators now for the full qualifying classifications.
So it's the Williams driver of the Flying Finn who takes pole position here in Bahrain by 21 thousandths of a second faster than TRL Martin. Stries in the Red Bull starts from row 2 alongside Sayariu in the Renault. RS Falcon and TRL Limitless make up row 3, followed by Leobot, Ycoms, and Stu, the Force India drivers, starting right next to each other. And Andre BCF 1997 rounds out the top 10. We've got Jason 97 F1 in the Ferrari in 11th position. He's followed by AOR Reversal in the Sauber. SB Snowy in the Manor is in 13th position, followed by Lucky Dog 2000 now. Franglish, Burnout F1, CRL Rosberg, Mike Marshmallow, and 6 Skills 527, setting the slowest time in the qualifying session, 1.7 seconds off the pace. CRL Hamilton did not set a time, will be starting from 20th, and STSF1 Alonso and Dizzy Cupid both disconnected during qualifying.
Welcome to the Bahrain Grand Prix for round 2. I absolutely love this music in the background. It gets me hyped, Justin. Does it you?
It's absolutely working for me, and I'm really looking forward to this race, especially after what a great was. I mean, it was mixed conditions last time. I don't think we're going to be seeing that in Bahrain, but I'm very excited.
Pretty overcast, actually. No % chance of rain according to the weather reports, but still, you don't tend to see such overcast conditions around this track, at least. And here we go. Here are the drivers starting their formation laps. So the Flying Finn taking pole position, and obviously after his amazing debut, I suppose, in for season 12, you know, winning the race around Australia, tricky conditions, really kind of kept his head, kept the consistency, and we didn't see him for most of the race. So it was a really impressive performance. Do you think he can build from that moving forward, Justin?
Oh, surely he's going to be building off of that confidence. I'm sure he's feeling pretty good, especially after picking up pole position. It's not the longest run down towards the first corner, and there are a lot of lines that you can take as well. So I give him pretty good odds to hold on to that lead into turn 1, and then from there he could just drive his own race and just keep control like he did in Australia.
Limitless, that we're on board with right now, down in 6th position, so he has not had the start to the season that he would have hoped. Obviously one of the guys that has been seen as a potential championship contender, but after a very difficult time out in Australia, where he kind of messed up a little bit on the strategy, pitted a few laps too late for the dries, and that actually cost him a couple of positions. But I think it's going to be an interesting one to see how he picks himself up from Australia, because it wasn't the best of his drives, as he finished 5th place. As we've got AOR Reversal having a little bit of a spin on the formation up. It's not going to cost him any positions on the grid, fortunately, but having an interesting spin, which I'm sure is going to dent his confidence slightly going onto the grid.
Shows turn 10 is a difficult corner at any speed.
It is indeed, and let's have a look. So we actually got quite a few different strategies going on. We've got quite a few on the soft tyres, and you've got some on the mediums, some on the super softs. Obviously those guys up at the front will be on the super softs if they set that lap time, or the fastest lap time, in their qualifying session. So it's going to be interesting to see the strategy as well. 2-stop is the most likely, but 3 stops may actually be required for drivers struggling with tyre wear. So I think it's going to be an interesting one, because F1 2016 really does bring out the kind of different driving styles, because you can actually save quite a bit on your tyres if you are smoother, if you don't turn in as hard and go in as quickly, as you can see from the tyre wear tests that you can do in career mode.
Yeah, and with the 3 compounds available because of the 2016 regulations, that really opens up a lot of possibilities as well. So, yeah, I think that's fantastic for the racing, and I'm sure we'll see a lot of variation in the race today.
As they are lining up to the grid now, it's race time. The lights are coming on now. We have got 5 lights here for Bahrain. It's lights out and away we go. On board with AOR Reversal, the man who spun on the formation lap, but gets a pretty decent start on the soft tyres, but no, collision with Jason 97 F1 in the Ferrari. Really unsure what happened there. We'll get a replay hopefully, as the Flying Finn goes in slightly deep into turn 1, but maintains first position for now. Martin coming under pressure from Strees, who now is up into 2nd place on our screens. Let's have a look now. Martin going to have the racing line going into turn 4, I believe, or turn 3, or maybe I'm not one or the other, but either way he's going to hang around the outside, but Strees up the inside takes that position away from Martin, as Limitless is up into 5th place. As RS Falcon and Leobot going to go side by side with this right-hander, which really is kind of single file, and Leobot comes away with 6th place for now. Now Ycoms diving up the inside of RS Falcon in that McLaren. Can he stick out the inside? He can, but will he get traction? I don't think he will, compared to RS Falcon, but I think they're still going to be side by side. They are indeed going to this very tricky downhill left-hander. It's going to be very hard to not lock up, just like Sierra Rosberg has, losing part of his end plate on that front left. But apart from that, Justin, it's been a reasonably clean first lap, apart from that collision right at the start.
Yeah, and I think that was just an end plate that was lost. So, yeah, I think for the most part, some more side-by-side battling going on here for 10th position. Franklin around the outside. Very interesting line through there. And then Burnout F1 as well, taking advantage, grabbing the inside line for turn 12 and grabbing a position. RS Falcon, though, you can see they're being pressured by Ycoms for 7th position. Started in 5th, so he has lost out on a couple of positions. Meanwhile, JD, Strees goes very deep into the final corner, or penultimate corner, and that's going to lose him a position to Martin. Martin up into 2nd. Strees is going to come under pressure from Sayariu as well. He's going to go defensive to the right-hand side. No DRS just yet. But with the extra speed that he picked up coming out of that final corner, is he going to be able to go around the outside here into turn 1? It looks like a little bit of contact, nothing too major though. He'll have the inside line for turn 2, and he does move up a position. So yeah, lots of action going on, and like you said, very clean racing so far.
So we've got the Ferrari of Jason 97 F1 into the pits, I believe that is, because of his front wing. I'm hoping that's correct, but either way, Ycoms up into 7th place. Ciariu now coming under pressure from Strees, and he's up in 3rd place right now, and Strees is having a very difficult couple of laps now, as he's now down to 5th place. He was in 2nd at one point, as now Limitless tries to take advantage of Ciariu's kind of compromised line there, and he goes round the outside and up into a podium spot for now, does Limitless, as Leobot now trying to take a position away from Strees. And it does just show how closely competitive this league is, purely because Strees was up in 2nd. One mistake, he's down to 5th. So you really can't afford to make mistakes like that going into the last corner. Because, I mean, he missed his braking point by a country mile. And it was very crucial for Martin to get through as well. As you can see, the top 2 starting to pull away, and actually got maybe a couple of seconds to Limitless in 3rd. So those two could use the slipstream, which is very powerful in this game, to start to pull away from the rest of the guys. It reminds me a little bit of the Olympics and how, you know, the cyclists, the velodromes, they kind of slipstream each other and they can get away quite easily. So that might be something that they try and do. It depends if they're going to battle hard, as that Streets again, I believe, making another mistake into the final corner, and that is him potentially out of the points. I'm not sure if we're going to get an on board with him, but the Flying Finn is leading this race. Martin sets the fastest lap of the race, and Ycoms in the slipstream of Leobot.
Ycoms is flying here as they get into the braking zone for turn 1. Can he get it all slowed down? He does, relatively easily as well. Fantastic move from Ycoms. Started this race from 8th, now finds himself up into 5th. Martin now attacking for the lead of this race into turn 4. He's going to have to go around the outside, and then, of course, he's going to have to go around the outside at turn 6 as well there. So, oh my gosh, 3 wide between Stu and Leobot, and I believe that was Ycoms as well. No, I think that was Falcon, actually. But the Flying Finn, yes. Oh gosh, big moment at the exit of turn 7 for the Flying Finn. That's going to put Martin right up on the back of him. It is lap 3 now, so we're going to get DRS after turn 10. We're going to have a look now at the replay of... so this is the incident that we saw on the first lap. Oh, yeah, just a slight touch between Snowy and that other car, and that has unfortunately caused an incident between all 3 of them. Yeah, that was Jason that just was kind of driving in a straight line, minding his own business, and got sent into a barrier. And that lost him some significant aerodynamics on his front wing. So let's see it from Martin's point of view. Again, started from the front row alongside the race winner Flying Finn, and you can see the Flying Finn already just moving, getting very defensive over to the right-hand side. Bit of a lockup. You spotted that when it happened. He went very deep, but Martin as well going pretty deep. Couldn't really do much about that.
Yeah, I think that's the kind of safer route, is to almost outbrake yourself, just so that you don't take the racing line into turn 1, because, I mean, I myself, a few seasons ago in AOR, got absolutely T-boned from a man who just decided that he didn't know where the braking point was. But Martin is now going to take the lead of this race, and Ciariu is going to take 3rd place away from Limitless with the use of Slipstream and DRS. So Martin up into 1st place. Ciariu takes back 3rd position. And into turn 1 we go now with Leobot, and that is for Falcon, going side by side. And it looks like Leobot is... Oh no, big contact between Falcon and Leobot there, and that's another incident that may well have been easily avoided had they given each other a bit more space. The side pods cannot be trusted in this game, and Limitless now trying to get back past Ciariu, as Leobot now down to 16th place. That has got to be disheartening for the Toro Rosso driver. But Limitless now going up the inside once again of the Renault. Will he make it stick this time? Surely Ciariu is going to get a little bit better traction. He does indeed on that racing line. He's going to have the inside line into this downhill left-hander. Can he slow the car down? He can indeed, but Limitless will have DRS once again, as we now get a replay of the collision between Falcon and Leobot. And let's have a look and see. I think Leobot maybe just squeezed him. Yeah, well, I'm not sure if there's a little bit of lag involved there, which you can never fully trust these games to purely be a driver error. But either way, unfortunate for both of those guys. We now have a replay again of Falcon, Snowy, Rosberg and Hamilton now going side by side, and so close to losing his front wing was Rosberg there. And these guys just battling for a position just outside the points there for 11th, but Burnout absolutely destroying his front left end plate there, Justin.
Yeah, I think he missed his braking point there, possibly carrying a lot more speed. I think he got the DRS and the slipstream. He might have been in rich mix as well, so I think he was a little bit surprised at the speed he was carrying into turn 11. On board with Ycoms now as we start lap number 5, and we can see it's actually still pretty close up at the front. We got a battle for 1st and 2nd, and then for 3rd and 4th, and then the two Force Indias actually started alongside each other in 8th and 9th, and they now find themselves in 5th and 6th, so it's been a great race for Force India. Rosberg and Hamilton are side by side now into turn 1. Rosberg with the inside line for turn 2, runs very wide though, very, very wide out onto the curbing, and Hamilton says thank you very much and takes that position on the rundown towards turn number 4. Ciariu again up, back up into 3rd after making that overtake on Limitless. But what I noticed earlier was in the battle between Ciariu and Limitless was just how close Limitless was through that 5, 6, 7 complex down into that hairpin when they went side by side, just tucked right underneath the gearbox of Ciariu. Just no fear from Limitless whatsoever. It's incredible how much confidence he has, and I think that's the experience showing.
Yeah, definitely, and it's got to be a little bit of trust with the other drivers as well, and I think Ciariu being one of those that has... Oh, Martin getting out of shape, going through towards the long right-hander, and Flying Finn says, thank you very much indeed, Mr. Mercedes driver. I will take that 1st position back, and actually, Martin and Flying Finn having a couple of mistakes over the last few laps has enabled Ciariu and Limitless to get back involved with the fight for this lead right now. So Limitless also has 1.9 laps of fuel over his limits. So basically, he's got a bit of fuel to be able to push. And Martin now flies into the pits. Does he slow it down in time? Yes, he does indeed. 41 miles an hour, nice and comfortable coming into the pits now. So we've got Martin, we've got Ciario, I believe that is, coming in the pits as well. And no, that's not a Renault at all. Nice eyes there, Matt. But either way, we've got a few people in the pits. We've got Ycoms. They're all going to change onto the medium compound tyres for now by the looks of things. So it'll be interesting. I think they'll probably just go for 2 stints on the mediums if they can make them last. Limitless in the pits as well, which you can see now. Following Martin out, these two massive rivals from the past few seasons. Martin coming out on top in Season 10. Who is going to come out on top in Season 12? We will have to find out and see. It's only round 2. They're just finding their feet with this game. And it's kind of showing, I think, with Limitless's performances, especially at this point in the season.
Yeah, I was going to say also, I think, the Flying Finn going very slowly there. What's going on with the Flying Finn? Ciario inherits the lead of this race. The Flying Finn in the background, losing the back end as well at the exit of turn 10. Here comes Stu. That is a puncture. That is a puncture for the leader. That's going to completely destroy his race. He's got half a lap still to go, so he's going to drop right down the order, probably out of the points. Stu inherits what is currently second position, but still has yet to come into the pits. So a lot of the top 10 drivers, though, coming into the pits at the end of lap 5, 24 laps still remaining, 2 12-lap stints on the medium tires. Sounds about right to me. So it looks like a lot of the guys in the top 10 are going to be running a 2-stop strategy. Let's see if Ciario on these super soft tires is going to come into the pits. I imagine Stu might follow him in as well. He is definitely moving over to the right-hand side. So Ciario pits into the pits. Let's see if he goes on to the medium compound tires as well. Surely he will have lost some time to the cars that pit on the previous lap, but he will have that 1-lap fresher tire advantage as well. And I believe Stu did follow him in as Limitless makes his way past the Flying Finn, who is just now making his way to the pit lane.
So he's lost over a pit stop to the man he was fighting only a lap ago, which was Martin. So I think what the guys that have stayed out a lap longer on the Super Softs are intending is to do a 2-stop. And we might see a Ciario coming out to the pits just ahead of Ycoms. But AOR Reversal now going up the inside of Jason as well. So we've got a bit of action. Oh, he's got a penalty for corner cutting there. So lap 6, and he's already got a penalty. So Reversal needs to rein in his track limits a little bit there. But what I was going to say is that, the guys that are going a little bit longer on the Super Softs definitely have the intention of going for the 2 stops. But I think we might see a few of them as they're getting very close into turn 1 again. A few of the ones that are pitted a little bit earlier may actually struggle to do a 2-stop. It'll be interesting to see as Rosberg locks up his front left dramatically, allowing Mike Marshmallow, who is the reserve in this league. He's not replaced anyone. He's just a reserve for this league. He's up in 4th place at the moment on the soft compound tyres. He hasn't pitted yet, but a nice strong showing for now for Mike Marshmallow. What a name that is. But Jason 97 F1, we're back on board with the man who had that collision at the start of the race, in 18th at the moment, having a pretty lackluster race. This guy was, he's won races before in AOR. I remember when he won round Spa, I think, on F1 2014. But right now, he's not having a great time. As who's that running wide? That's Andre BCF 1997, who's having a bit of trouble. And Lucky Dog 2000 now is going to take the lead of this race, as he is on the medium compound tyres and hasn't stopped.
Yep, he started outside the top 10, and as we saw actually on the formation lap, the vast majority of drivers outside the top 10 opting to run the soft or medium compound tires for the opening stints of this race, and I think that could prove beneficial for them in the long run. So here we go, Ycoms on the attack with Ciario, too far back to do anything about it on this occasion. Into turn 1 they go. He'll get a pretty good slipstream on the run down towards turn 4, though. I think he might be a little too far back on this occasion. He's going to pop it up into rich mix and back down to standard. So too far back to do anything on this occasion, but he's on the same compound tires as Ciario, and I think they stopped on the same lap as well. Here comes the Flying Finn making another overtake. He's on the soft compound tires after having that puncture, so he might be on for a 3-stop race possibly here, but he is absolutely scything his way through the field. Burnout F1 as well on the medium compound tires, trying to get a position here on 6 Skills, who is also on the mediums. I believe both of these guys started on those tires and still running in their first stint. Here's Jason 97 F1 making a move on Reversal for P17 right down the order, but not far off of the cars ahead of him, so he's got some potential positions to gain up ahead. Back on board with Martin, who now finds himself behind Rosberg, and Rosberg, I believe, was the one that went deep previously into turn 10, misses his apex there. Rosberg just seems to be struggling with turn 10, and it's of course an easy corner to make a mistake at. Yeah,
one of the hardest corners on the calendar, I think, on this game at least. And we've got Jason, who's had another incident there as Martin clears Rosberg with ease. But Jason having a terrible race right now. I'm not really sure how he spun. We didn't see that, but I'm sure we'll get a replay at some point. Not sure what's going on there.
I think he's missing his entire front wing.
Yeah, oh no, he is. He is indeed. So he must have had a collision maybe with reversal. Let's have a look. Yeah, here we go. I called it. Here we go. There's a replay of reversal coming up the inside. And what has happened here then? So reversal hits the apex nicely and loses the back. Well, I think Jason just, I'm not sure if there was contact or what. I don't know. Jason ends up in the wall there, and his race is just over, isn't it, really? So we have another replay here of Burnout coming into turn 1 with Rosberg, who's just pitted, slotting in just ahead of the Flying Finn. It's going to be interesting to see how the Flying Finn does, as you say, cycling through the field, because he is one of the quickest drivers in this league. I'm pretty sure he'll still maybe be able to salvage points as Snowy. I mean, he had an opportunity to get out of that and go round the Rolex sign, but no, he decided, actually, I don't like those watches and I'm going to destroy it.
Yep, he prefers Casio watches, I would think. But yeah, we're on board with Leobot now, who grabs an easy position off of Snowy. I think Snowy might still be on his first stop, similar to Mike Marshmallow. As we mentioned before, Mark Marshmallow is a reserve driver, so he could find himself in a permanent role potentially in the future, as I believe Snowy coming into the pits for his first stop behind us. Yep, RS Falcon into the pits for a set of medium compound tires at the end of lap 13. So that's 16 laps. No, that was the end of lap 12. So that's 17 laps still remaining. So it looks like he's going to be going for a 3-stop. Ycoms resuming that battle with Sayaryu. It's been a few laps, but he is still stuck behind that Renault. Really can't find a way around, but those guys racing respectfully, obviously, if they've been this close to each other for this long, heading into the ever-difficult turn 10. A bit of a lockup there for Sayaryu, but no drama for Ycoms whatsoever. He's going to pick up the DRS here off of the Renault as well. Very difficult overtaking location into turn 11. Not really an overtaking location. You have to be pretty darn close and probably have a tire difference between your opponent, but he could find himself in a good position on the main straight to grab a position. Limitless up ahead does seem to have a decently sized gap to the car ahead of him as well. So it looks like the top three starting to spread out.
Crazy. Siaryu's driving style. I mean, I don't massively like to see, obviously, he's driving the way he feels most comfortable, as we've got Rosberg coming under pressure again from the Flying Finn, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Flying Finn flies straight past him. They're going to be side by side going through this long right-hander. Rosberg goes on the curb, and that is the deal done. But Siaryu's driving style, he's upshifting so early through corners that, I mean, me personally, I'm probably coming out, third or fourth gear. But the Siaryu coming out in 6th or 7th gear just to kind of minimise the wheel spin. But almost on the extreme levels of it. But I'm not sure if that helps with the tyre wear. I'd assume so. And also with the saving of the fuel. But an interesting driving style from Siaryu at least. And it's clearly working for him as he's up in there fighting for a podium position. But Lucky Dog doing his first pit stop and coming out still in the points. As Rosberg now comes up the inside again of the Flying Finn. So he is not laying down and allowing the man that is probably seen as, he won last time out, but Rosberg completely not fazed by that. Takes 11th place back from him as we're now on board with Stu in 5th position. What's going on with him? Let's have a look and see. So he's coming towards this downhill left-hander in 5th position. 10 points on the board for now, but he locks up that front left a little bit, misses the apex completely, and it just kind of ruins your run all the way down that straight as well, as Hamilton has disconnected from 7th place. He will be able to rejoin if he can get back on. But his AI car is not going to go very quickly.
No, yeah, so that's going to be an easy position for Lucky Dog, who I thought was actually going to come out of the pits in 6th. He is actually having a really good race. Started outside the top 10, comes in for a set of the soft compound tires. He's got one more stop still to make, of course, but in the points, as you said, now up into 7th position. RS Falcon now on the attack on Burnout F1 after I just got done saying earlier that turn 11's not really an overtaking location, but RS Falcon with the inside line makes it pretty easy. Burnout's still right behind him. Is he going to know they're not going to pressure each other into turns 12 and 13? But yeah, it's not been a great day for RS Falcon. He did qualify up in 5th position. Currently finds himself down in 13th and battling Burnout F1, who started pretty solidly outside the top 10 in qualifying.
So we're coming towards half race distance now, and Martin is currently looking like he's got a very healthy lead out in front after Flying Finn unfortunately suffering a puncture in his first stint, as we now got Burnout using the DRS up the inside into turn 1. Surely he's not going to be able to slow that down. Oh no. But there he goes to Falcon's now going to have the racing line. Ooh. And was there a little bit of contact on Falcon's screen there? I think there must have been, but on Burnout's there was nothing. And Burnout takes the position up into 13th place. No points or prizes for 13th place, unfortunately. But these guys still fighting it out, hoping that maybe something might happen ahead. And these guys can take advantage of that. But right now, Martin leading with, I think you've got Limitless in third. I'm not sure who's in second right now. I can't really remember. But Falcon diving up the inside. And Martin has built that gap pretty nicely indeed. 3 to 4 seconds to Limitless at the moment. So Limitless is in second, Ciariu in third. Here you go. And Ycoms in fourth. But Ciariu, sorry, is actually going to be right behind Limitless going into this last corner. And will he have DRS? I'm sure he will. I'm not really sure why I'm questioning that. But here it comes. As you can see, new for F1 2016, actually tells you when you can activate it. And surely that is going to be easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Look at the difference in straight line speed going down towards turn 1.
Yeah, and I think it's apt that you said lemon squeezy for the Renault, a very yellow car. But Lucky Dog now up into 6th. He made a move on Franglish. That much that happened when we couldn't see it. But now Franglish coming back at him in that McLaren Honda, of course, equal cars. So he comes back at him into turn 1 with the benefit of that DRS. Grabs a position. Stu into the pits now at the end of lap 15. So 14 laps he's going to need to do on this set of medium compound tires. He's going to come out right next to CRL Rosberg and Flying Finn, who are involved in that battle. These guys are on pretty worn soft compound tires. They're both pretty quick guys, though. So I don't think he'll be held up too much, but he probably won't be super happy about coming out of the pits directly behind that battle. Lucky Dog, again, on the soft compound tires, will have much better braking into the turn 8. Hairpin is going to possibly get the move. No, they're still going to be side by side. Franglish will have the inside line into turns 9 and 10 here, the double left-hander. But Lucky Dog feeling very confident on those yellow mark soft compound tires and gets it done around the outside into turn 10. Very nice move.
Very nice indeed. He is starting to be one of those drivers that doesn't shy away from a move. And Lucky Dog looking very healthy in this race as we're about to start lap 17 with the leader coming through the last corner. He's got a bit of a nice 0.7 a bit of fuel left over the limit, so that's quite good. He can push as he comes into the pits once again, as Martin very close actually to probably suffering from a puncture there, as he was sort of 75 to 80% on his tyre wear there on the indicator on the right. So that would have been interesting had he stayed out for another lap. And as you can see, all these guys staying out for another lap. So be interesting as Stu now goes up the inside of the Flying Finn. So the Flying Finn is not scything his way through as easily as maybe we would have thought, Justin. But he's now in 12th as he comes into the pits on those soft compound tyres. Will he be able to push the mediums all the way to the end? It'll be interesting to see, as Stu now using the DRS to go up the inside of Rosberg. Can he make this one stick? And if he can hit... Oh, we got a drive-through penalty for Burnout, who unfortunately did not slow down to 50 miles an hour at the line, which is so easy to do, especially at this track, because it just doesn't really give you a warning quick enough. And super soft tyres. Interesting. So he's definitely going to have to pit again. Burnout, that's a very strange strategy in my head, Justin. I'm not sure about yours.
Yes, pitting at the end of lap 16, 13 laps to go, which is not quite enough to split in half, if you ask me. I don't know if that was intentional. Something tells me he may have wanted to go into the medium compound tires, but here is your de facto race leader at the moment, Ciariu. But of course, we expect him to fall behind Martin when he does come into the pits, which should be at the end of this lap if he is doing an even 12-12 split for his medium stints. I believe, I believe Ciariu was, yeah, he stayed out longer. He came in at the end of lap 6. So that means he's on 11 lap old mediums. If he comes in now, he'll have to do 12 laps, and he actually stays out while Limitless just can't seem to hang on to his tires quite as long. He's going to come into the pits. He's followed by Ycoms as well, who is pitting quite a bit later than his teammate Stu, who again was involved in that battle between Rosberg and the Flying Finn. But Ycoms now comes in for the second and final time for another set of the medium compound tires.
Oh, and he's jumped Limitless.
Oh, yeah, good spot there. Oh, maybe he hasn't.
Well, Limitless using a teleportation device. I'm pretty sure that's not allowed in this AOR League, but Limitless decides to use it anyway. So Limitless lagging his way back through into 6th position. I got slightly excited there. Maybe he had some sort of front wing change, but nope. So Limitless stays ahead and will take that second. Well, actually, it depends where Ciariu comes out, but I'm pretty sure Limitless will be in second place when all the pit stops are said and done. But Ciariu, with that driving style potentially, being able to push his tyres slightly longer, which is interesting. It might to see maybe the other drivers start to use that style. Can Burnout slow down this time? He can indeed. But maybe some other people might try and get that driving style locked down so they can save their tyres to go longer in the race, because Ciariu is showing as one of the only ones to be able to do it.
Yep, I agree with that. I'm a bit concerned as we're on board with Burnout. Okay, I was worried that they might give him another pit stop for super softs instead of having him serve the penalty, but no, no problems for him. Jason 97 F1, who has had a race to forget, no doubt about it. Yeah, he's going to go on to the softs at the end.
Get into the end.
Oh, and what's going on with Rosberg moving very slowly down the back straight where the DRS is. Ciariu into the pits now at the end of lap 18. Now, is Ciariu going to go onto the soft compound tires? He did do 6 laps on a set of used super softs. So to have him do 11 laps on a set of soft compound tires may not be out of the question, and it is those wonderful matching yellow tires for the Renault.
Yeah, he's definitely got his outfit on point right now, has Ciariu. So that'll be very interesting to see how quick he can go. As Martin is actually Lucky Dog is in the lead of this race right now, but he is yet to pit, and Martin is bearing down on him. It does sound like Ciariu is going to come ahead of Limitless on the soft compound tyres as well. So, I mean, that's a fantastic move from Ciariu to be able to... I mean, unbelievable, actually. I'm not really sure how he's managed that, but he's essentially now in second, or actually, he was in front, actually. So Ciariu was in front, but at the same time, he still was able to maintain that gap. And, well, I mean, I'm actually stunned that Ciariu's been able to do that, but maybe that's to do with his driving style and actually not losing too much traction with those tyres, even if they were really worn. And, well, actually, we've got Rosberg very angry there with his camera angle there, but he had a front left puncture, did Rosberg, coming into the pits now for some medium compound tyres. But it'll be very interesting to see what Ciariu is able to pull out now on those soft tyres. Can he start to catch Martin? Can he keep them in good condition towards the end, or will Limitless start to come back to him, maybe with a few laps to go?
And Ycoms as well, kind of been a bit of a dark horse, has been driving very well and has been keeping good care of his tires as well, which is something that we saw Limitless struggling with in the previous stint. But he's just about keeping up with that battle for the podium positions. Now, Ciariu, Mike Marshmallow is a lap down, essentially. He still needs to stop again without question.
So Ciariu... You can't say he's a lap down, Justin.
Stop down. Excuse me.
Poor guy.
That was a bit harsh, maybe. But Ciariu is going to be looking to make that overtake as quickly as he can, and he's actually done that before even activating the DRS, so he's going to fly by it nice and easily. But yeah, Ycoms has had really good tire management all race long, so and he's been just about keeping up with those guys in front of him, so we could see him as a threat. I mean, you can see him there just going through turn 1, not that far off of Limitless, and if Limitless gets slowed down by Marshmallow here, then we could see a battle between the Haas and the Force India in the later stages of this race.
Indeed, this would be interesting, and actually Limitless's intentions to maybe finish in second place depend on Mike Marshmallow, and I'm pretty sure he wouldn't expect the sweets to be determining the outcome of his race, but he goes up the inside, does Limitless. Can he make this one stick? Mike Marshmallow does not let him through. He is not going to just give away this 4th position easily, and Limitless is going to be absolutely fuming in that helmet there as Martin now is... Oh my Jesus Christ, what is Lucky Dog doing? I think he was just lagging there maybe. But Martin having the scariest moment of his race and potentially his career there for a P1 at least, as Limitless trying to go on the inside now. But Marshmallow still, I'm calling Mike actually, not Marshmallow. Mike still managing to stay ahead of Limitless. And this is crucial for Limitless's chances, and he goes up the inside, he's going to wheel bang, he throws his hand up in the air. Limitless starting to lose patience here. And
he's frustrated.
Yeah, he's very frustrated, and look at the straight line speed of Marshmallow, and he retakes that, but Limitless will be happy with that, I'm sure, as he will now get DRS and the slipstream. And if he doesn't pass him now, well, that's going to be interesting, as Lucky Dog is coming back at the race leader, and it's going to go up the inside into turn 1. Absolutely no flips given. Lucky Dog, I'd used a better word there than what I could have used, but Lucky Dog tried it back on Martin. Martin says, excuse me, do you mind? Thank you very much. I will take this position back and now drive off on my fresher tyres. But Lucky Dog giving us a bit more action than maybe we would have expected.
Yeah, that was incredible. I mean, we're seeing that also from Mike Marshmallow as well. You know, again, these guys still with the pit stop to make, whereas the leaders, Limitless gets it all wrong at the exit of turn 4. And that gap to Sayaryu up ahead is just going to get even bigger as a result of that. And also now with Ycoms not that far off, Ycoms is very close to DRS range here. If these two start battling, then I think Limitless can just about write off that second place position. He'll have to settle for third position. Ycoms, though, goes very deep into turn 4. He is going to get the DRS here, but he's pretty far off of Limitless, so not much of a slipstream effect.
Yeah, getting a little bit too excited, I think, was Ycoms there, seeing Limitless make that mistake, and now within DRS range. But let's see if Ycoms can catch Limitless. But a very uncharacteristic mistake there from Limitless, as we're now on board with Sayaryu. Look at the upshifting there. I mean, you can't even hear his revs. He's so high up in his gearbox. But it's working out for him a treat, as he is now sat in a second place net once Lucky Dog pits. And, well, I mean, Sayaryu, he may well be a championship contender moving forward, as he is very consistent, as he was in Australia. And, I mean, he may well be a dark horse for this championship, as you now have Falcon coming into the pits. And he manages to slow down, unlike the other Renault of Burnout F1, who had to go and service drive-through penalty a few laps ago. And what will Falcon go on to? I'm assuming the Super Softs. He does indeed. And he'll come out outside the points in what looks like 11th place. Although his teammate, I believe that is Andre, with that yellow dot, is going to be pretty close coming into turn 1. But I think Falcon will be okay. He is indeed. And he will slot in 11th place, very far behind Flying Finn in 10th. So Flying Finn, despite having that puncture, is now within the points once again. So I'm sure he'll be happy with that. Well, not happy, but content considering where he was. As Sayaryu braking on the curbs, very, well, I wouldn't be braking on the curbs if I was him, but he's managing to pull that off just fine, and he is closing in on Lucky Dog 2000 now, who should be coming into the pits at the end of this lap.
Yep. I think it's very likely that we'll see him come into the pits. He has really dropped off of Martin now. They were still continuing. I think they were pretty darn close, actually, at the end of last lap, at the end of 22. But as you mentioned, he should certainly come into the pits, as Sayaryu completely misses his apex there by about a meter or so. And Lucky Dog does indeed dive into the pit lane for what we can only assume will be a set of super soft tires, making sure to slow it down very, very nicely. And then we can see here comes Limitless, and look who is right behind him. It is Ycoms with that DRS, with the slipstream. He's going to be too far back, I think, on the run down towards turn 1 here. Gets into the braking very nicely, though. No lockups for him. Very, very close, just tucked underneath the gearbox of Limitless, and he will get that slipstream on the run down towards turn 4. Lucky Dog, though, is going to come out of the pits in P6, possibly. Yes, there is a car coming down the straight now, but it looks like he is going to be comfortably ahead, and whoever it is, they aren't going to have fresher tires than he. And it is, in fact, Leobot in 7th position behind him on a set of medium compound tires, and he's out now on those brand new Super Soft. So it's been a fantastic day for Lucky Dog.
It has indeed, yeah, great performance from him. Also a really good performance from Ycoms, who's bearing down on a podium position here. I mean, it's not often that you see Limitless coming under pressure so much from other drivers, and it just shows he's kind of struggling with this game at the moment. But it's great to see, actually, that this league is very competitive, and we can see many different race winners over the course of this season as Burnout comes into the pits, what seems like for the 95th time, as we've now got another set of super softs for Burnout. I mean, he is burning out his tyres as well, by the looks of things, excuse the pun. He's in 17th place now, and he's not having a particularly good afternoon. And yes, he's going to rejoin even with no battle either. And Strees in 18th place as well. So Strees, who was up in 2nd at one point, having an absolutely terrible afternoon, as Jason is now coming under pressure from AOR Reversal. These two cannot be like separated. I mean, Reversal, you know, and Jason having that incident right at the start. But yeah, very interested to see those two. I'm sure Jason is sick of that Sauber and can't wait to finish this race. As we're now on board with the leader, Tyrrell Martin, who is leading this race by a country mile. It seems like, well, it's not a country mile, but it's a nice enough gap to feel comfortable. And he's got enough fuel in the locker as well, just in case he needs to push if anything was to happen. But I'd be a little bit worried, actually, if I was Martin. The fact that he doesn't have any gaps. He doesn't really know if that is 2nd place behind him or not. But that's just him and his preferences. But Falcon sets the fastest lap on those super softs with a 32.4, so he can take away that fastest lap trophy that doesn't exist. And Stu in 5th place now, having a decent outing as well on those medium compound tyres. And I'm sure he'll take away 10 points very nicely indeed.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be happy with that. Not quite as happy as Ycoms just ahead of him. But again, you know, another group of winners is the Force India guys. who again started 8th and 9th towards the tail end of the top 10, now finding themselves just outside of a podium position and 2 cars in the top 5. Which is more than what any other team can say. Because we've got Mercedes, Haas, and Renault. So Force India going to grab a nice haul of points if things stay as they are. And like you said, it's very strange for Martin. I mean, he doesn't. Not only does he not know the gap, he might get a gap every now and then from his engineer, but he doesn't even know what position he's in. I'm sure he probably knows that he's leading this race at the moment, but does he? I mean, can he really be sure? Here we go. Ycoms versus Limitless. Round 700, it feels like. Here we go, down towards turn 1, but once again, Ycoms just does, a little bit of a touch there. I think Limitless with a bit of a lockup into turn 1, and Ycoms just, with that dirty air, with that slipstream, just not able to brake as efficiently as he would have done with clean air, and look at the speed he's carrying on Limitless, but once again, he just runs out of straight. It definitely seems like Ycoms is the faster driver at the moment, but he's having a hard time getting by JD.
Yeah, it seemed like from my angle at least that Ycoms actually closed his DRS down the straight, so didn't actually want to overtake Limitless. So I think he's saving his fuel and waiting for the last lap. Knows that he can't beat anyone else but Limitless now, so he's just saving his fuel and just kind of keeping his tyres intact, and he's waiting for that last lap potentially. It's Mike Marshmallow going up the inside of Leobot, one of the veterans of AOR, but Marshmallow pulling a move on him in that Sauber, and he is not afraid, even if he is a reserve. But he's up into P7. He won't score any points as a reserve, but if he becomes a full-time member later on, then he will be able to score points. So Leobot down to 8th, Flying Finn now up to 9th, and will score a solitary 2 points, which won't feel as good as 25 the week before. But Jason now in the pits from 17th, so he is going to lose a position to Strees as well. So, I mean, these two, I mean, the Ferrari team having an absolutely torrid time in 18th and 19th place. So, a day to forget for the Scuderia. But what's interesting also as well is that Martin, when we went on board with him, was on 58% wear on his front left and rear left. So, it'll be interesting to see how his pace drops off compared to the rest of the cars behind him. He's got that gap, so maybe that's where he's pushed his tyres a little bit more than the other guys, especially Siaryu with that strategy of upshifting. And you can see here, look, 56 and 57, and this is later on as well. So Martin definitely chewing through his tyres as Ycoms just sitting, watching, waiting for a moment to pass Limitless. And I think he has picked his moment, and it will be the last lap, Justin.
Yep, he's got a great run here. DRS is not activated. Interestingly, not activated. He's just using the slipstream. I don't know if that was intentional or not. He's got the inside line on Limitless. Limitless is going to give him the room. In fact, he's going to go for the switchback. He's going to try and get a good exit out of turn 1. He has done that, but then unfortunately has to get off the throttle as he nearly runs into the back of Ycoms. It's very difficult to go side by side through there, of course, and into the braking zone for turn 4. And unsurprisingly, again, Ycoms has just seemed better on his tires all day long. And Ycoms possibly with a bit of an advantage when it comes to tire life, just able to get on the brakes a little bit later than JD as they come down the hill now into the turn 8 hairpin. Can Limitless do anything? No, he can't. Lucky Dog again on those super soft tires. Is he? Oh, he's got a warning for exceeding track limits, though. I'm not sure how many of those he's gotten, but he is closing in on Stu. He's got less than 2 laps to go to try and make that move for 5th position, but that would be an absolute dream. And instead of having 2 Force Indias in the top 5, we would have 2 Haas's in the top 5.
Indeed. So I think Limitless and Ycoms, I think there's a bit of mind games going on there. I think Limitless gave him the room. He didn't want to be in front coming into the last lap. So Ycoms has actually been a little bit shafted here. I think Limitless has actually done, there you go. Look, I don't know if he's even meaning to lose his back end here, but Ycoms, I think, after waiting for so long, came through a lap too early. He didn't want to pass him, I don't think, because he braked quite early, and Limitless still gave him the kind of the room. So then Limitless didn't come back at him, and here we go. This will be the fight now as Ycoms. Look how defensive he's going into turn 1. He is not giving Limitless the inside line, but look at how much difference the speed is between the Haas and the Force India. Limitless manages to slow it down, but can Ycoms use a better exit through these next few corners and use the slipstream now? Ycoms, can he get close enough? He's got enough fuel to push on for the rest of this lap. Ycoms now, he's going to dive it up the inside. Limitless, does he see him? I think he did, but Ycoms actually had to ride on the curbs a little bit too hard and now running out of grip on his rear tyres. But Ycoms will have another chance as there is another DRS detection zone, Justin.
Yep. He just lost the back end there as he got off the racing line out of turn 4 there. Here's the battle for second position, though. Or is this? No, this is not the battle for second position. That's Jason a lap down behind the Renault of Sayaryu. And up ahead, we can see the gap to the leader. So it looks like Martin is going to... Yeah, but last lap of this race, there's one sector remaining as we come to the end of sector 2 now. It does look like Martin is going to be able to hold on to that. I mean, just look at it. Look at the difference, the split difference up at the top right-hand side. 2.4 seconds off of his best lap time after just 2 sectors. Really, there's only a couple of corners in this final sector, but it does look like Martin has that gap. He's going to be able to bring it home nice and easily. And I think just going back to that battle between Limitless and Ycoms, I think Ycoms actually reserving a little bit too much fuel as Martin comes across the line to win the race. Yeah, I think he saved a little bit too much fuel. JD a little bit better on the limit there. Yeah, and we are going to see Limitless on the run down to the line. Is he going to get it? Oh, Lucky Dog, though, side by side with Stu out of the final corner. He's off the racing line into the marbles. It's not going to give him very good grip, but it does look like he is going to take that
fifth place position. He's run out of fuel! Oh,
and
Lucky Dog just taking 5th. Stu took 6th, and that was actually Jason, or I think it was Rosberg actually getting involved for no reason, even though it was a lap down. Kind of got me slightly excited that he'd take a position there. Someone's got a penalty as Leobot's just been promoted from 8th to 7th there, as Falcon comes over the line and finishes in 10th position with Franglish just behind him. Franglish only 5,000ths of a second away from getting a point out of here, and Burnout, well, I'm not sure where he's going, but Hamilton is going to take the AI of Hamilton. Is going to take 15th place for him. Brilliant stuff from the AI there. And this is the replay going into the final corner. So Stu, with the inside line, riding quite hard on the curbs. And then, does he lose the back end? No, he doesn't. Lucky Dog. Oh no, he just runs out of fuel just that slight bit quicker than Lucky Dog. And both of them ghost and come over the line. That is hilarious stuff to see both of them run out of fuel going towards the line. But here we are then, the classification for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Martin wins the race by 1.9 seconds in the end from Sayaryu. Look at that tyre wear. He went SMS on his tyre strategy, and that is brilliant stuff to see that he's able to actually keep his tyres in such good nick. Limitless in 3rd position, his first podium of the season. Ycoms just missing out in 4th. Lucky Dog, a great result for him in 5th. Stu in 6th, Leobot in 7th, who actually got ahead of Mike Marshmallow just at the end there, with Flying Finn managing to recover to 9th position. We had a few penalties there. Marshmallow with 3-second penalty. That's actually what enabled Leobot to get up into 7th place there, with the Flying Finn with a 3-second penalty as well, and Franglish in 11th as well. So Falcon taking that final points paying position. And the fastest lap went to AOR Reversal with a 1:32.1. And this is the rest of the field there. Unfortunately, none of these guys scoring any points. But Justin, a quite action-packed Bahrain Grand Prix. Maybe not as much of a battle for the lead as I would have liked, but you can't have it every single time out, can you?
Yeah, there was a bit of bad luck involved for the Flying Finn, no doubt about it. I think we still actually don't know exactly what caused that puncture. I don't know if he was just pushing too hard or if there was contact. I'm not entirely sure, but less of battling for the lead, as you said, but still fantastic race as TRL Martin moves up the field into 1st, with Sayaryu now in 2nd position. Flying Finn moves down to 3rd, just 2 points ahead of Limitless, who's now up into 4th position. Dizzy Cupid, who again did not race today, still holding on to 5th, with Ycoms now very close in 6th position. Lucky Dog making a name for himself with just that one race finish, moving up into 7th in the championship standing. So again, Lucky Dog with a fantastic race. And interesting to point out, Lucky Dog ran the tires at different times, but he ran the same super soft, medium strategy that Sayaryu used as well.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, so that's what it means. You know, this whole season is going to be fantastic and interesting to see if any of the drivers that maybe are struggling for tyre wear, Martin being one of them, you know, if he can start to adapt to a different kind of driving style, if he thinks that maybe will work better for him in the future. But it won him this race, so it's not really anything you can worry about. But I mean, had Flying Finn not got a puncture, maybe Martin wouldn't have won, because Sayaryu was very close at the end there. And maybe one more lap and we may well have had a different race winner. So it's going to be interesting to see moving to round 3. But the Constructors' Championship, we can see Mercedes taking the lead of this Constructors' Championship, with Martin winning that race. And there you go, the Chinese Grand Prix, my favourite track on the calendar for round 3, is up next. And I am very much looking forward to that one. It's going to be really fascinating to see how they negotiate 11, 12 and 13 for the turns there, because it's going to be so hard on the traction when the tyres start to fall off. But it's going to be an interesting one. And thank you very much, Justin, for commentating with me once again.
Oh, it's a pleasure as always, and I'm really looking forward to Shanghai. It's going to be a lot of fun.
We'll see you next week for round 3, the Chinese Grand Prix. Thank you and goodbye.